Okay, Aquarius, this is going to be your weekly for October 20th through the 26th. I'm going to change things up a little bit, and I'm going to do a card per day, plus a bonus card to sum up the entirety of the week, what it's leading to, what it's going to mean for you in its entirety, once all the pieces are put together. Hopefully, I will remember to timestamp each day so you can come back and refer to this and either confirm or deny anything that you may or may not resonate with. So for Sunday, we have the Empress. So you're going to be nurturing. You may end up having a good old-fashioned Sunday dinner at your house or joining one at somebody else's. Whatever your interactions with your family on Sunday will, or what it is that you consider to be your family, even if it's a cat, a dog, you yourself, and you and yourself, and that's it, or, well, in all honesty, you yourself and some peace and quiet. There's nothing wrong with that. Or a big family, or just a bunch of friends that get together on Sunday. You will be in your element, whatever part it is that you play. You also, because this is on a Sunday, you may have wrapped something up and now you are just free to relax and maybe even let the freak flag fly a little bit. And for Monday, starting out the official work week, you have the Knight of Swords. So you're moving quickly, but you also may be moving so quickly that you end up redoing things over and over again because you move too fast to complete them in their entirety whenever you do them the first time. And show that you're not taking on too much because you do have goals to set and complete before the end of the week. And you don't want to take on too many issues that you get things mixed up. You will be completing things even if you do end up redoing some of the things. It could be because you obtain new information that change what needs to happen. It's also very likely that you are very ambitious and somebody will be noticing that about you. It might even be giving you new and more responsibilities because of your quick thinking. If you're out in public this week and you see an accident about to happen, I also see you moving quickly to keep it from happening. This could be either while you're in a vehicle or while you're around a bunch of vehicles, someone about to walk out into the middle of the street, not noticing what's going on, and almost getting hit by a vehicle. And you end up stopping it. It could be something else some other disaster you end up stopping, but that's what I was seeing. So for Tuesday, you have the Three of Cups in reverse. So you may have overindulged a little bit. And I think this is more in reference to what happened on Sunday, that you may have had your fill of people for a minute, and along with whatever it is that you're dealing with on Monday, you just want to take some alone time and just step back from everything. And because of that, you may end up feeling isolated, but it's a necessary isolation in order for you to set things right in your head and readjust to where it is that you are in the world at this moment, because the past 2 days has had a lot of movement, a lot of change for you. And for Wednesday, it looks as though there may have been, because of whatever happen on Tuesday because you suddenly don't want to hang out. This could end up causing conflict with somebody, and that's what's going on for Wednesday. It's almost like whenever they're getting their way, they're happy about it, but as soon as they're not, the tiniest little thing goes against them, then the world's against them, everything's falling apart, and there's nothing you can do to fix this. Why do I keep feeling like I have something flipped over in the deck? Things could just feel off for you too, Aquarius. Do not be bullied into acting out of character. If someone wants you to do something and you don't want to do it and there's no reason for you to need to do it, don't let them make you. It's just going to be another instance of them getting their way on something petty and small that doesn't affect them, but could affect you in a much larger way than they want to allude to. A perfect example of this is going to be helping somebody out with somebody, like they volunteered you for something, and well, you thought it was just going to be like a half an hour, maybe an hour out of your day. Instead, it ends up being a long-term commitment that you have to keep up with and you have to manage. For Thursday, Aquarius, we have the Seven of Cups, and I'm starting to feel, and you know what? That's what's on the bottom of the deck right now. So you have the Seven of Cups for Friday, and I'm starting to feel the same way about the Seven of Cups, reversed or in the upright, as I felt about our friend the Seven of Swords. And it's on the bottom of the deck in the reverse. So that could be a subtle influence that's behind the Seven of Cups. Is that somebody has been trying to distract you, possibly, and overwhelm you with options in order to get you to make the wrong choice. Even though they seem to have your best interest at heart, in reality, they're just trying to feel like they're doing something by putting these options in front of you, even though they're not viable. And if they are, they're not long-term solutions. They're momentary projects or responsibilities for you to handle in order for them to feel good about you doing something and really it's none of their business what you're doing. It's going to be much better if you actually turn your back on these options and choose a path of your own making, of your own creation. I'm sure there is at some point in some other deck where this card is actually something like within the Seven Cups ahead of the querent. You would actually have options like be a doctor, be a lawyer, be like one of the old I keep picturing this part in a movie where they're saying that a man has so many choices. He can be a doctor, a lawyer, a politician, a chef, whatever he wants to be, but a woman is always a woman. And other than mother and wife, what option does a woman have? And that could be something that you are coming to terms with right now. It could either be a gender discrimination situation between yourself and an older family member, and that it doesn't matter how successful you are career-wise. Those options don't matter because this is what you should be doing. it's likely that this is someone who is trying to succeed in a way that they find viable, but everyone else is looking on as if they're party tricks. And they're disregarding it because they don't get anything from that success. They don't get to say that, I'm sorry, we're going to use this as a perfect example. If you come from a family and they wanted you to go to college and become a doctor or a lawyer or something professional like that, and you end up going a different way without looking for their approval. Like, you're going through the med classes, you're going through the law classes, you earned either a bachelor's or a master's in one of these subjects, and while you were doing that, you end up starting a YouTube channel. Because we're on YouTube. And even though it has absolutely nothing to do with the degree and all the studying and the expectations of what other people thought you were doing and what you were going to succeed at, you end up monetizing a channel, getting a lot of business deals going with your channel, and being incredibly successful and monetarily doing very well for yourself. And in reality, you're becoming financially self-sufficient in such a way that they don't have control over what it is that you're doing, and as far as they see it, they can't exactly go and say, well, my son or daughter is a YouTube creator, and other people of their same age group is like, oh, what does that mean? They don't know what that is. They don't know how to define it for other people, and they don't even understand it because they had certain expectations and certain ideas, and as soon as they weren't getting their way, then, well, they just don't understand it. Almost like they need a lifetime of being surrounded by the same idea, and as soon as something skews to the left or skews to the right and isn't exactly what they expected it to be, they don't know how to handle it. This is not a problem for you. If that is you, this is not your problem to deal with, it's theirs. And the only problem you have to deal with this is their attitude, their lack of understanding, and their lack of willingness to understand. So you can be patient, but this could also be that you are being offered opportunities that other people won't understand and won't see the value in. And it could feel incredibly like a risk that you're not sure if you want to take it or not, but you're having a problem justifying staying on a path that somebody else wants you on. And I just drew that out way, way too long, but that is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that is your week by Friday. I'm going to put our friend, the Seven of Swords, right there with it because it's likely that you're doing something that other people don't know about and finding a way to benefit from it, but it's not something that they expect you to do. It could come out of left field if you ever say any of this to them and you suddenly come up successful and they find out about it for whatever reason. And so now we're drawing for Saturday. And I will shut up about Friday. But which looks like what you're going to be doing. Whatever it is that you're doing, you're keeping it to yourself and no one else needs to know about it. If you are drawn to do something outside of what other people consider appropriate or out of your periphery, then go for it. And it doesn't have to be a channel on YouTube. It could be anything from I don't even know, like you're a woman and you start working on cars, or you take an automotive repair course, and women just don't do that sort of thing in your family, and it could run the gamut. So be patient. Worry about being patient with yourself and the learning curve that you're going to be adjusting to, rather than you learning how to react to other people's reactions, because that's not going to get you anywhere. It's not your job to satisfy them. For Saturday, you have the King of Pentacles in the reverse, and I'm going to let this refer back to your Friday cards that you have here. If at any point in time during the week you drop the bomb on someone that, like, you're dropping out of med school, or you're repurposing those credits to a different major that they don't necessarily approve of. And this isn't something that they were getting from you actively right now. They expected you to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that because of the income it would have brought in and that they would have been able to use you for. And this is a little specific, but so Aquarius, I'm sorry if none of this applies to you. And this is going to wrap up the week. This is what's going to solidify the entirety of the week, and that is the Queen of Pentacles. So even though it looks like you're wrapping things up, you're diverting for the entirety of the week, you are taking care of things for other people because that's how you started on Sunday. And I keep interpreting a lot of the cards like that, but it's the Empress. It's the nurturing. It's the most nurturing card in the deck. It's the major arcana for nurturing things without yourself. And then you have quick movement, so it's quick movement and then arguments. You have engagements that you're going to either break or not be involved with, pulling back from what could be social things. It might even be like a birthday party or a yearly family event that your family goes on. You're like, no, I'm not going to do that this year. I'm busy. I have something else to do, and they're going to be angry about it. And then this other opportunity is going to come up, or you're going to start working on something new because you're realigning to what you actually want out of life instead of what other people want you to do. And you start doing something behind everybody's back because it's none of their damn business. And it ends up coming out that there was an expectation of financial obligation that you may have to your parents or to some other family because they assumed they're going to be able to lean on you. If they invested in you now, they'd be able to lean on you later. This could also be that you didn't know where the money was coming from, and something ends up coming out about where that money was coming from. And with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse wrapping up the week, anything that you've been investing in other people joint bank accounts that you've been feeding into, it looks as though you're cutting them off. If this is a breakup or a separation from family, then if you go to move everything out that's yours, or change residences, or start separating your belongings, they could end up trying to get in the middle of everything that you're doing and smothering you as you're trying to walk out the door, because they don't know how to handle the situation outside of having you there to lean on. I will say it's interesting that there was a bunch of it went from nurturing to conflict to arguments to doing something behind the scenes. If you are in a relationship that you are trying to get out of too, it could be because there is an option coming up to where you will be able to leave without saying anything. And in that, whatever your situation is, you're going to end up with financial independence by Saturday. And I'm going to presume that next week you won't have other people hovering over your shoulder trying to see how it is that you're spending your money and doing your due or whatever. So Aquarius, if you can get through this conflict that you have with other people kind of grasping onto you and trying to get you to drag them through life, and so they don't have to, it's almost as if they don't want to face up to the consequences of their own actions. So watch out for people like that in your life, where you may have been supporting them and not even knowing it. And if you end up closing a bank account and starting a new one that they don't know about, that they can't monitor because they've been able to monitor this one that you've had, really, actually, I think that's a great representation for the King of Pentacles. They had something finalized that they could get, like they had a trust or a bank account of yours that they saw that they could spend out of at will, that either you don't know about or you didn't have control over. And you may end up finding a way to actually cash it out or transfer it so that they're not conservator anymore. But the Queen of Pentacles, the Queens grow and the King of Pentacles, the Kings use and the Queens grow. So that's how I'm going to interpret the Kings and Queens. And whatever suit it is that they're in relation to is what they either use or grow. So I would be very careful of what you say to who, because it's likely that there's something going on that you've been unaware of, and that whenever you make this change, it's going to make someone very, very angry. And prior to this, they were hunky-dory, everything's fine. But now this comes up and they don't have access to this thing that you didn't even know that you had, maybe. Be careful around this person. It does feel like it's a man, but it could also be a woman who's in her masculine energy who's trying to control and use you or something that you have. And they're very, very comfortable with doing this, like, well, that's how it's always been. But with the overall energy of the week being the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, I do find you being able to pull back and take care of yourself and find your independence even amid conflict with somebody else. If there are other people reacting negatively to your success or your good fortune, that's really all that you need to know, Aquarius. Don't let them smother you with attention because they're really just trying to wait for you to slip up so they can either find out what your PIN number is or find out what your bank account information is, something like that. It all has to do with money. And with all these swords in this breed, I think with all the swords and emotion in this read, it's got to be something that they know about and that they feel a certain way about that's theirs, but it's not. So be very, very careful. And I don't see anything bad really happening, but do watch your back. Anyway, have a good week, Aquarius. Hopefully this is good fortune all the way around for you and things don't get too out of hand. Be sure to check back. I am still going to be doing the daily cards, though, for each day for every sign. So keep an eye out for those and see how that relates to the weekly spread for you. But take care of yourself, Aquarius, and stay focused on what it is that you know that you need to get done and what you need to do for you. And then you can look at what needs to be done for others and decide whether or not you want to help out with that, all right? Be safe, and that's not something I normally say, but God bless, and hang in there and know that you are being led to something that was meant to be yours all along.